Hey, everybody. Welcome to The Experience Live with Russ and Scott.
Welcome to The Experience Live with Russ and Scott.
Join us every Wednesday at 7 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. Special thank you to our sponsors, the Gillette Home team of Keller Williams Midwillamette. For all your real estate needs, go to teamgillette.com. Have your dreams been buried under mountains of responsibility? For help, contact Emily Harmon, Coaching and Consulting at emilyharmon.com. And Christine Smith and the Aging Better Network present Convergence. For more information, go to convergence-experience.com. Ta-da! We made it. It is another Wednesday, and it is a good day today. I'm telling you, I'm always blessed. You wake up, it's fresh in the morning here in Oregon. We were just talking about that clear, crisp weather this morning. No rain on my head, which was good, but it was a little wet. I think it rained last night. Scott, what do you think?
Yeah, it was a dark and stormy night. So
stormy night. We'll sing that song.
It was. My wife put a little wedge under the bedroom door because I had the windows cracked open just a little bit. And the air pressure kept changing, so that it was like some ghost was rattling our door. So
maybe it was happening. Who knows?
Yeah.
Well, listen, I am so excited to be here. Everybody, you are joining Scott and I on the Experience Live with Russ and Scott. We're here every Wednesday, 7 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time for your listening and viewing pleasures here on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. And you know what? We just love having you guys here, don't we, Scott? We just love this community.
Yeah, that's what every week, just watching the comments fly by, watching those conversations of people greeting each other, just genuinely glad to be together, even in a little text box. That does my heart good.
That's right. It does. And we really appreciate it when you share this out right now. If you're watching, whether on live or on replay, you can still share it. Even when you're watching on replay, you can still interact and engage even when you're watching on replay. So if you're watching live or on replay, share this out today. And we would love for you to join us and subscribe to our YouTube page. And how do you do that? Well, Scott, tell them, how do they join our YouTube page?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's right there on screen. Go to theexperience.video. That'll take you over to our YouTube channel. You can click the live button and watch the current and past videos, and make sure you subscribe so that you get notified when we have tremendous guests here like today. And so we're going to have fun talking with Andrew and Salisha, and they're broadcasting to us live from Manhattan Island.
Live from New York. Okay, there we go. And I love the fact that we like Scott is saying, this is such an amazing community. Please interact. Tell us where you're watching from today. Talk to each other, engage with each other, and ask us questions. Do whatever you like. But we just love to have you guys on here. But please don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube page at theexperience.video, because it does give you that access to all that amazing past content in one spot. Makes it so much easier for you, and notices about upcoming content. And, Andrew and Salisha are going to be amazing today. So you've got to remember, you need to share this out with everybody and let them know. Andrew and Salisha are coming. It's exciting. They're going to be here. And, they are both amazing people. But right now, Salisha is going to tell you about what she's doing on Broadway and all that as well. So it's going to be a real great show. We want to also remind you, don't forget, 7 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time every Wednesday on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube, The Experience Live. But also before that, we have the
Mhm.
experience backstage with our good friend Shree out of Houston, Texas,
Right
every
on Instagram.
Wednesday. That's it. On Instagram only. That is live at 6:30 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. As we're getting ready, I was eating my breakfast this morning. We're having our coffee. We're just getting all ready to go
Truly
so that we can.
backstage.
Right. It's totally backstage. Who knows what we'll actually be doing, but we do know that you'll receive great value and good video tips from Shree because she is
Mhm.
always amazing at that. And so, Scott, what do you think? Any last words before we just get this ball rolling?
Well, I'll just say thank you to our sponsors again. It's been wonderful to have the Gelat Home Team as a long-term sponsor since day one of the experience. Coming up on 3 years. 3 years. Oh my
It's
gosh!
amazing. I know.
And so that's been great. And Emily Harmon, she is one remarkable person. You are going to see her live at in Pennsylvania coming up
That's right.
this weekend. And
Showing
then
up
Christine
perspectives on
Smith.
cancer with Tim Sohn this weekend. Yes, keep going.
And Christine Smith with the Convergence Experience coming up, a live conference right here. And that picture on the website, convergence-experience.com, it's a beautiful shot over the Willamette River, looking at all the walking pathways. There's a ton of stuff going on. And
Yeah.
so convergence-experience.com, I encourage people to check it out. Some great speakers. And they're going to have a movie premiere here in Oregon of Wine, Women, and Dementia. It's going to be at the Independent Cinema. It is a great movie that has been to a number of film festivals and been winning awards. And so you get to see it here only. This is not a YouTube video. You got to come and watch it on the big screen. So lots of good stuff coming up.
Lots of good stuff. Well, I think we got to get rolling and get our guests on
Let's
here
do it.
because we want to give them plenty of
Mm.
time. And we're so thankful that they're with us today. Here they are, Andrew and Salisha.
Woo, hello.
Good morning.
I think, Salisha, we need a backstage for you. I love you running around trying to get things taken care of. That's how it feels in my brain. I'm running around in my brain the whole time trying to take care of things while I'm sitting here. So, oh my goodness. How are you guys doing?
Good.
Doing good, yeah.
Yeah, I know. I was going to say it's an early morning for us in New York, but you guys are on West Coast time.
Pacific. They get up at 5 a.m. every day. They got this. What are you talking about?
Yeah. It's a normal thing. It's a normal thing for us, and but we're excited to have you here, and so thank you for joining us. I always introduce Andrew as my favorite entrepreneur. Many people say that their business is like an ATM. Andrew actually owns ATM, so I mean, his business is like an ATM. So,
it's really
Andrew
like
has been involved in so many different things, and we met through a volunteer organization, Young Entrepreneurs Business Week, a business camp for high school students, and Andrew was on staff there and has impacted so many lives. One of the things that Andrew can do that is just stunning to me is that we'll have 100 students, and over the days he gets to know them, and then they're all in this big auditorium, and he goes down and calls every person, every one of those students by name.
Mm-hmm.
And then has a one-handed push-up contest with them. So,
oh yeah,
show off. Yes. Well, hey, before we tell everything about the two of you, we're going to let you two and pick one of you and then the other. Tell us a little bit about who is Andrew and Salisha, and then I'll give my impression of Andrew after he tells. Go ahead, you guys.
Well, I'm Andrew's wife in this scenario. I'm Salisha. I live in New York City with my husband Andrew, who we met at a podcasting event.
Podfest, yeah.
At Podfest.
Mm-hmm.
I just started a podcast in 2020 because I work in the Broadway industry, and during 2020, like Broadway didn't exist. So I started a couple of podcasts, and then I met this guy, and he literally changed my life. for that, I was in Beautiful, the Carole King musical, on tour and on Broadway. And I got to meet Carole King a couple times. And I just finished up a run of the Britney Spears musical, Once Upon a One More Time. We just closed earlier this month. I'm so sad.
It was a bright light while it lasted.
It was a
Yes.
yeah,
Mhm.
that's a good way to put it.
Mhm.
And yeah, we're just here hanging out.
Cool. Andrew, keep going.
Yeah, so hi everyone. I'm Andrew Weiss, born and raised in Oregon, and so Salisha was very convincing to get me to move out to the New York City East Coast and go from Best Coast to East Coast. but-
No, it's
Wow. Ouch.
this is West Coast. What's
I thought it rhymed.
Ah,
So I worked 3 years with the Young Entrepreneurs Business Week, where we taught professional skills to high school students, and it was cool to be able to travel around the entire state of Oregon teaching those skills. In that time, I gave over 1,000 presentations in 3 years, and so it was great to get the experience learning how to get up on stage and give great presentations and sell from stage. And then after I did the Young Entrepreneurs Business Week and I met Scott, I decided I wanted to be a full-time virtual entrepreneur. And so I did that by being a sales and public speaking coach, did my own event called Fight the Fluff, because I was tired of going to events where speakers would talk but not actually give any value. And so I hosted an event full of value, and Scott Smith was one of our speakers and gave an excellent talk as well. And then based on the success of that event, that's when I got hired to be a contractor for Podfest. And we've broken 2 Guinness World Records. And one of the Guinness World Records was in 2021 with Salisha. And the record was for world's largest virtual podcasting event in 1 week. And so, that's essentially my story. Is I've been contractor with Podfest the past 3 years, helping run their marketing and operations. I'm still doing my business and sales coaching for people who want to make more money. And then, of course, as Scott mentioned too, I'm the guy that gets that $3 transaction fee that people pay.
You're the one. And Salisha, we had in our opening credits, we show some of the guests that we had, and Justin Guarini.
I saw Justin.
Justin was on there, but you guys have a special connection. So tell us about this, because he nominated you for something really, really special.
man.
Yeah. Well, when we were starting the rehearsals, I was like, oh my goodness, I'm in a show with Justin Guarini. This is so cool. Like, I used to vote for him when he was on season 1 of American Idol, like calling in, because we didn't have texting back then. Like, I'd call in and vote for him. And that was so cool to like get to do a show with him, but not even just to get to do a show with him. I got to swing on for Cinderella, the like lead. There's a couple leads of the show, but she is like on stage the whole time. I got to swing on for Cinderella for one show, and it was like a freak thing, and it was all hands on deck. It was very last minute. I was not rehearsed, and
no costumes, no wigs.
well, they did end up getting me in costumes. They did get wigs.
Well, wigs, costumes that weren't fitted for you.
Yeah, I had a couple fittings, but a lot of clothes I was wearing the original girls. And Justin he played Prince Charming in the show. And so obviously Cinderella, Prince Charming. And so we're together for chunks of the show, and he was by my side the whole time. And afterwards, I remember, like, we did the show, we got through it. It was not a bad show. I remember afterwards, me and the other understudy, we were at like the bar across the street getting milkshakes, and he showed up. He was like, hey guys. And we were talking. He was like, wait, you didn't have any rehearsal? I'm like, no. He's like, wait. You did that whole show without ever running it in rehearsal? I'm like, yes. And so he is, I think, an honorary chairman or board on like something having to do with the American Theater Wing. I should know the actual title, but he nominated me for the Unsung Heroes Gala. And so I was nominated by the American Theater, honored by the American Theater Wing. And it was a really cool night. And there was a lot of great performances, and they gave me my flowers. It felt really.
And you made a YouTube episode about the whole experience.
Yes.
Yeah.
I did.
Release. It could be taken down any moment, so go check it out.
Yes, well, I'm telling you,
There's a
that,
lot.
this is what the experience is all about. These amazing life experiences, which you, Salisha, and Andrew, both of you have experienced. But this Broadway thing is amazing to me. I want to tell you, the highlight of my New York trips have been Broadway. And the first 3 times I went, I was able to go to 3 different shows. And it's just such an amazing experience. The way those little theaters are built, they get a lot of people in there, but you're really pretty close to the stage, no matter where you are.
Yes. They use it little theaters for people who don't live in New York. He is not being like condescending. They are little, like they are so small. Like when I was on tour, we would go to these big cities and it was these huge houses. If we were in a Fox theater, it was 4,000 seats. Like some of these theaters are so big. New York is not like that. These places are small. Our theater at the Marquee was actually one of the top 4 largest theaters on Broadway, but usually they're so intimate. You don't have to do all this big dramatic stuff because the audience is in your lap. They're like old buildings, most of them.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
are.
For me,
But they,
tall guys, it's not much leg room. It's very, very frustrating.
but it is. It's just kind of, when you talk about the experience, if anybody who has not done this, you have to go to Broadway. They say, "Oh, I'm not really into plays and stuff like that." It is not your average play. I mean, it is an experience. And one year, it's funny because we saw 42nd Street the last year it was on Broadway. That had been at the time the longest running show, which was amazing.
Wow.
The next time we saw Beauty and the Beast, and Donny Osmond was in for a quick debut as Gaston for like 2 weeks. And I don't know if you guys remember Donny Osmond, but he used to be the big heartthrob, right? And so our ladies who are older, he was their heartthrob, they all were waiting for him outside the door and getting pictures and like getting autographs.
When
And
was this, Russ?
What?
When was this?
Well, 42nd Street was 2 years after 9/11. So that's what, 2003. And then the next year, we saw Beauty and the Beast. That would have been 2004, I think. And then a few years later, I saw Memphis. Memphis was an amazing musical.
Was
Yeah,
Montego Glover still in it?
What?
Montego Glover. I think she played Felicia.
I think so. Yeah. It's been a while, but it was just, oh my goodness, what an experience. So how did you get to Broadway, Salisha, and how did you get in? I mean, where did you come from and how did you get there? Give us a little background.
Well, I'm from California.
Okay.
I know, or you guys are Oregon boys in here.
And by the way, it's on this side of the screen right now. It's Oregon State University, not University of Oregon, which Andrew is a dyed in the wool green and yellow duck who walked all over Neon Dion this last weekend.
My goodness.
Congratulations to the Oregon Ducks.
I'm a California girl, even though I really do love Oregon. So there's that. We're probably going to move there one day. And I went to school at Cal State Fullerton in Southern California, and I worked at Disneyland, and I did the shows. I was a vocalist there. It was so fun. I loved it. And, something happened. I just kind of felt like I wasn't enjoying it as much, wasn't enjoying California as much as I grew up loving it. And I always wanted to come out to New York. And so I just came out here and visited. Like, I gave all my shifts away quietly.
Well, I just want to say too, you weren't just a vocalist at Disneyland, you were Princess Tiana, which is pretty cool because obviously you worked hard to go from a character host to a princess. So that's a big deal too.
I did audition quite a few times, and I got cut quite a few times before getting my dream role there. But eventually I came out to New York to visit, and while I was here, this homeless man, I tell this story all the time and I still can't believe this is real, but it is. This homeless man was sitting next to me when I was waiting for the train, and he looked at me and his eyes twinkled. I am not lying. His eyes twinkled and he said, "I don't know who you are, but you need to move here and you need to do it now." And I I had goosebumps over my whole body. I'd only been in the city for 2 weeks, and I was going to visit for the month. No one knew I was here. I just gave all my shifts away and just wanted to kind of run away. And so that was the excuse I needed. I called into Disneyland. I put my notice in that same day. And within 2 weeks, I had gone back to California, sold all my things, and came back with 2 suitcases and a dream. And I moved here officially. And the week after that, I landed a role in the first national tour of Beautiful, the Carole King musical. And
so when you write your memoirs, 2 suitcases and a dream, what a beautiful title.
Yeah.
2 suitcases and a dream.
Well, I think both of you are this way. And Andrew, when I first met you, I thought, man, this guy, I told Scott introduced us. And when you and I first Zoomed, and then you were on my live stream Marketing with Russ, I said, this guy's really got it together. You really had dreams. You were really moving. And I really loved what I still love what you're all about. And I just think that was amazing. So both of you took what people think of as a dream. You took action towards that dream, and look what's happening. Dreams really do come true. You want to sing that for us, Salisha?
Dreams do come true.
There you go.
Andrew, I love what you've done too on your coaching side, because you use, and this resonates with my heart, a science-based method of accountability.
Yes. Yeah, so that story is I got that inspiration from Dr. Benjamin Hardy. Oh no, our camera got blurry for some reason. Maybe you have to reset it or something. Oh, let me try turning it off and on and see if that helps.
There you go.
Oh no, how did that happen? Oh, the blurry camera.
Maybe I need my I'll just put on my glasses.
Oh, there you go. Felicia had the magic.
Magic.
Perfect. So essentially, psychologically, humans would rather not lose something than gain something. And so usually the fear of pain is stronger than the zest for reward. But I know Salisha's like, I don't want pain at all. Just give me all the rewards. So
tell me I'm pretty.
And so, I just kind of discovered that like, a lot of people say, oh, I want a new car, I want a new house, but they don't want to lose getting out of their comfort zone. They don't want to lose having to change their lifestyle in order to get that new car and that new house. And so I set up accountability programs where I say, okay, if you really want this, put your money where your mouth is. And then another thing too is I discovered that people, we have big dreams and goals, but the only way to get there is one step at a time. And so the classic example I like to use, Scott and Russ, they're both great book writers. And I think you guys are both Amazon best-selling authors as well. And if you tell them like, hey, write 300 pages, they're like, that's a lot of writing. I don't know if I can handle that. And obviously they've done it, but this example to go along with it, I'll just keep saying this. But if you tell them, hey, just write 3 pages a day for, let's say, or 10 pages a day for 30 days straight. Like, okay, that's more manageable. And then 30 days later, boom, they have a 300-page book. So essentially the accountability coaching I do is I have people put skin in the game, showing they're serious about they want to reach their goals. And I make sure we break down their big goals into teeny tiny steps consistently over time that leads to guaranteed success.
Wait, but he's coached me, which it took me a couple of years to let him coach me. I'm like, I don't need coaching. I got this. But I finally let him coach me one time. And yes, he does all the stuff that he just said. But the thing that really helped me was the actual showing up to our meetings, the accountability part, and not wanting to show up, not having done my my part. Accountability with the group accountabilities, because that's the best part about the program is that everyone puts money into a pot, and you only get that money back if you put in the work. And if other people put in the work but you don't, they also get your money too. And so it's a healthy competition with each other, which is fun.
Well, I think that's amazing. I agree with you 100%, because my latest book, I wrote one chapter, and I was part of a group that came together, collaborated. The book became an international bestseller overnight and #1 in its category on Amazon. It was amazing, but we all worked together. We helped each other. And, my new book that I'm working on that Scott knows has to do with things I've already written that I'm putting together, and I've done it like you said, little bits and pieces, and then I'll be able to put all that together and use that for the foundation for my book. And so it is a lot of times just putting bits together and not overwhelming yourself, right, Scott?
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I love about Andrew's program is that they put money in. I mean, it's hard dollars, right? You got to make that commitment up front. And that's an encouragement because you have just given something up. And if you don't perform, and who set the standard for what you're going to do? Yourself.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, but the accountability part, Andrew, and I'll kick it back to you, is a great thing, because when you have other people with you, you feel accountable right off the bat.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, immediately you're feeling, and so I'm telling you, when I worked on Rattled Awake, Volume 1, CJ, Dr. Constance Leland, who's in the comments, was there with me all the way through. She was one of the co-authors. We also had, who else was here today? One of the other co-authors was here, and I'm missing who it was. I'm looking back. I'm looking. I want to give her a shout out. I think it was Jill was here, and one more second. Oh, there it is. Leanna was one of the co-authors as well. And and I'm telling you, Willie J, who usually pops in, was one of our co-authors. He's not here yet, but Willie J is just been on the front of Fortune magazine in Morocco and done some amazing things through business and music as well. So yeah, it's just amazing. But we all held each other accountable. And Andrew, I think that is the secret.
No, 100%. And because it's like the African proverb, like if you go alone, you might go fast, but if you want to go far, you travel with others. And so might as well make the journey with others.
Yeah, I had my podcast for like 2 years, 3 years, and then I was coaching with him for 30, 45 days before I monetized it. I'm like, I should have done this a long time ago.
Well, and I know my partner here is going to step in and say he's the responsible host. But Andrew, speaking of podcasts, you have been involved deeply with the marketing and a lot of other aspects of PodFest, which is coming up in January in Orlando, which is also a Disney hub for those who, like me, grew up with Disney. My grandfather, by the way, started working as a gardener at Disneyland a year before the park opened up. So he helped with a lot of that. 1954, he started working there, and that's where he retired. So I grew up going to Disneyland, and so it's we're a Disney family. So Salisha, it does my heart good to know that you're embedded in there as well. So that's beautiful. But let's talk a little bit about PodFest, and then I'll back away from the microphone while Russ says I'm the responsible one.
Yeah, so PodFest is really a special community.
I love PodFest.
Yes. Let's see, I'm trying to think. So basically started by our founder, Chris Kremitzos. And in 2013, he decided to host a meetup with 13 people with this crazy concept called podcasting. Everyone's like, what are you talking about? And then he also kind of like my fight the fluff philosophy, and that's where we both align. He's like, I want the best speakers and I want the best atmosphere for people coming together, collaborating, giving to each other, rather than take all the time, essentially. And based on creating that culture and that atmosphere and bringing incredible speakers and topics that give tangible value, he hosted the first PodFest back in 2015. It had over 100 people. And then, fast forward to March 2020, it had grown so big, it had over 2,000 people. And then of course, poor Chris, the pandemic happened, and, as an event host, you're like, well, crap, what do I do now? And then that's when he hosted the virtual, PodFest events and brought me on.
And he met his wife.
And met Salisha because of PodFest 2021. And then, so this is going to be our 10th event of PodFest. So it's our 10-year anniversary, January 25th to 28th, Orlando, Florida, like Scott mentioned. And we're actually, I hope I can say this publicly, we're officially hosting the Podcasting Hall of Fame this year.
Woo.
So all the biggest names in podcasting are coming to this 10th anniversary event. And on top of that, we're also going to have a carnival theme in the expo hall too. So people can get their popcorn like I desperately advocated for over the past couple of years. And so it's definitely going to be a very fun event. We're expecting several thousand podcasters and content creators.
It's fun.
And it's a good time.
It really is a good time. I've experienced it over Zoom the first time and I had a good time. But in person, it really does feel like a community. And it feels like, I don't know, it's so easy to make friends. And the meetings are really fun, like listening to the speakers.
I'll put a plug in too for some of these virtual events that you guys hold with Podfest. And Chris is there, and he's just your buddy. I mean, he is a normal, natural human being, and it's just fun to hang out with people who have similar interests. And I always walk away with new information in my brain.
Well, and I want to jump in and say that I have found what you guys are talking about, Salisha. When you go to conferences, it is such an amazing experience, no matter what the conference. And, so many people come together nowadays that have known each other or met each other online. And so then when you come together, I am so excited this weekend flying out. I'm going to fly into Newark and then drive to Scranton, Pennsylvania. We're showing up perspectives on cancer with Tim Sohn. It's going to be an amazing thing. And, after going through this cancer battle the last year in my life, I've made so many connections and amazing friends. And Tim and I have been friends forever. And so it's so great to actually meet all these people in person. I think Tim and I talk every morning. I think we've been best friends since grade school, and yet we've never been in the same room. So it'll be an amazing experience. Wow. Yeah, it'll be a ton of fun. And so I'm looking forward to that. So I know what you're saying. Podfest is something that is on my bucket list to go to. And that is just, I was blessed last year, along with Scott, to Andrew, to be one of the, do one of the little snippet lessons. Yeah. I love that. And I really would love to get involved more. That was really a blessing to be part of that. Thank you.
Russ, you would thrive there. It is so fun. Like, and I see your Shure SM7B. Like we would just be nerding out there. There's so many different vendors, and it just feels like a safe space to I don't know, nerd the heck out.
Yep.
Well, and I don't think that you and I, Salisha, need a safe space to make friends, because it's just I love that. Yesterday, I went to a new town helping a client break in. All I have to do is make friends and talk to people. That's right up my alley. And you're going to pay me for that. That's great. You're going to pay for lunch. You're going to pay me to go there. I'll do that. Let's do that. So I am really looking forward to that. And, you two are such a blessing. We could talk for hours, but we do have to wrap things up. I do have to be the responsible host and say what we'd really like from the two of you. Give us your last thoughts, what you really want people to remember from today. And then how do they get in touch with you if they want to reach out and say hi?
Oh, gosh. I guess I would just say, dreams come true. And yes, what we were talking about earlier, when there's a desire for something, that desire was given to you for a reason. And if you if you just are a little bit curious and see what you can do to take a step to get towards it, I think anything truly is possible. And life can be really extra beautiful when you do that. My name is Salisha Thomas. It's Salisha Thomas Weiss now, but you can find me on Instagram at Salisha Thomas. And my new reality show on YouTube is under YouTube. My handle is It's Me Salish.
Yes, and I think you already have 500 views off your recent video too, so it's grown in popularity.
It's not that much, but I did post it yesterday.
For only posting two videos on the whole channel, right?
I have more.
Okay, anyway, but yeah, so definitely follow Salisha. Check out her YouTube channel. Obviously, I'm here to be her hype man every chance I get, and fortunately, when you're married, you get a hype woman that comes with it, apparently. And my closing words would be, when you want to achieve something, don't overcomplicate it. Break it down into smaller tasks, and then also understand that there's a good chance that what you want in life, someone else has already figured out how to do it. And so ask that person how they did it. And if you're the first person to do something, props to you, but understand that there's a good chance that things you want in life, someone else has figured out how to do, which means you can do it too. And so go out and make it happen.
I think that is amazing. Final words. And both of your contact information, by the way, is been underneath you ticking along. Andrew, just say it verbally. So this converts to audio podcast. So we want people hear how to get in touch with you too.
Yes, you can find me on social media. I'm on all the platforms. Well, maybe not all of them, but Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, the Andrew J. Weiss. So feel free to shoot me a DM if you heard me on the show. And then my website is weisswisdom.com. And if you like sending emails, I'm always love hearing from people as well. It's Andrew Joseph Weiss at Gmail, and Joseph is spelled with an F. So hope to hear from you there.
Awesome. Well, I can't tell you how much we appreciate both of you. We're going to have to do this again because you guys have such a bright future. We're going to have to bring you back again and catch up because it's happening so fast. You know, we're just, it's hard to stay up with the two of you, much less life in general. So yes, let's plan on another part coming up, but thank you so much again for being here. And we just want to say you both are such a blessing. And I know that everybody watching today has really enjoyed. And if you are watching today, by the way, all of their contact information, like I said, is clickable. It is in the show notes. It is in the comments. You can click on it and go right to them. And that is an easy way to get in touch with them and move forward with your dreams in your life, right? So I'm
just going to put in a plug to say we should do the experience live from the Podfest.
Yes, we definitely should.
There you go.
We'll figure something out. So I'm just putting my vote in.
All right. And okay, say it one more time. When is the next live Podfest?
January 25th to 28th, Orlando, Florida. And if you know the exact location, Wyndham Orlando Resort. So it's right on International Drive, right by all the happenings. And so come a day early, stay a day late, so you can check out Disney World, SeaWorld. And it's also in the middle of winter, but it's hot in Florida in the middle of winter. So it's somewhere to go where it's warm in the middle of winter. So there you go.
I would say that is an amazing idea because the several times I've been to Orlando for conferences, they've been in August. Let me tell you that August is not the time you really want to go. Especially when the trolley and the tram is all crammed and won't stop for you and you're standing in the heat. So I'm all for January.
Yes.
Okay.
January.
You guys hang tight. We're going to send you to the green room, but don't go anywhere yet. We'll be right with you. Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
All right.
Wow. Woo. Man, that
Two
moves
suitcases
so fast.
in a dream. 2 suitcases in a dream right there.
Okay. That is their book. Scott, you got to get that together.
Yeah. Yeah. And how I made $3 with an ATM.
There you go. Well, Scott, listen, it's as always, it's amazing. And we're over time, but tell everybody real quick what's coming up in Christine's conference one more time.
Yeah. Convergence-experience.com live in person right here in Independence, Oregon. This is a beautiful community, a heart of Oregon wine country. There's a lot of stuff going on. She's got great speakers and the Oregon premiere of Wine, Women, and Dementia. And that is going to be showing right at the Independence Cinema. So there's a lot of stuff going on, including the Ghost Walk on Friday night. So you want to come and visit and just enjoy Independence.
I'm telling you guys, it's beautiful. Independence is really a suburb of Salem, and Salem is not gigantic either, but they're right together. And beautiful, beautiful area. We are the capital of Oregon here. And so listen, I want to remind you, we're here again next week, Wednesday, 7 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time for your listening and viewing pleasure on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. And before that, are you ready? Are you ready? Before that, we're on the Experience Backstage live with Russ and Scott and Shree. That is amazing, but only on Instagram Live. So you want to jump over, check that out first. Come with us to LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube for the experience and amazing guests like Andrew and Salisha. And just want to thank you all for being part of this community. Please remember to keep sharing this out. Keep letting people know. Please get in contact with Andrew and Salisha. They're an amazing couple, and you're going to want to do that. And you're going to want to join us next week back here on the Experience Live with Russ and Scott. And did we tell you that's at 7 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube? So there you go. All right, Scott, I think with that, we're going to sign off and wish everybody an amazing rest of the week. Until we see you guys again, have a great week and have a great life. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks for tuning in to The Experience Live with Russ and Scott. If you enjoyed today's show, please share it with others, post about it on social media, or subscribe on YouTube. See you next time.